DMC. A strike this video will get because of the music used in Devil May Cry games, which absolutely slaps, and I have no intentions of cutting it out. So please consider subscribing to my channel, follow me on Twitch and check out my Patreon, thanks. In 1998, a humble Japanese man named Hideki Kamiya decided to create the best, most bombastic game in the world. Resident Evil 2, baby! Then he made the second best game in the entire world, called Devil May Cry. Explosions, women, men, sexy men, gas, mozzarella and cheese. In Devil May Cry you play as Dante, a simplified version of Dante Alighieri from Divine Comedy, and... what the...
But I'm not your enemy.
You blast into my office, slap me around like a little bitch, electrocute me, you impale me with my own sword and then throw a goddamn motorcycle at me? The fuck you mean you're not my enemy?
My name is Trish.
I don't fucking care.
So with little to no explanation, you arrive at Dracula's castle on some random island in the middle of nowhere, and you are greeted with the best ambient music I've ever heard in video games. Your goal here is to seal the gates of hell and stop this silly Satan guy whose name is Big Mundus. You need to go through sets of corridors filled with challenges and try to solve some puzzles, for which you need to backtrack through entire castle. Yes, this game was made by the director of Resident Evil 2, and it shows. At some point you get impaled by your sword again, gaining new abilities like Round Tree, Stinger my beloved, and most fearsome of them all, Double Jump. There are also guns, but in Devil May Cry ranged weapons are like the Nerf guns. The damage you deal is only on the inside.
Your life is nothing.
So they are mostly being used for juggling purposes. That is, until you get a shotgun, grenade launcher and a gun whose name I can't pronounce. You also get needle gun, but it is in the part of the game which strikes PTSD in every Devil May Cry player.
What the fuck is that?
Devil May Cry is a hack and slash genre where gameplay is being emphasized over everything else, and DMC in this aspect is no different. Tons of combos, weapons and moves to unlock. During each fight your star score goes up depending on how good and creative you are with the game's combat. Sometimes to use one move you need to press 3 buttons at once, where in other games of the same genre you only need one. Also many attacks consist of character direction based inputs, i.e. if you want to perform lunge forward you need to tilt your left stick in the direction your character is facing. Same goes for launching enemies into the air. And while I do agree it was designed this way so that players don't randomly press any buttons hoping for a cool combo, instead forcing them to think about their next move, I must say that direction-based inputs in the game where camera doesn't work like 70% of the time is kind of annoying, but hopefully they will fix that in later games, right? But going back to the story, you are being bullied by a giant spider, gigantic eagle and this eldritch monstrosity from Nightmares. And your dead brother Virgil, aka Nello Angelo, aka Nero Angelo, aka Travis Scott, makes an appearance. You beat his A's 3 times separately and regain your mother's amulet and your father's soul. With those items Dante can descend to depths of hell to defeat Mundus, but the blonde lady electrocutes us again. By the way, she definitely isn't an enemy, I hope we got that clear. Dante saves her from this moderately sized pillar and then actually gives a pretty good speech about the concept of Uncanny Valley and then leaves, Sigmund Freud style. But then Trish gets captured. Trish, what the fuck are you doing? As you can see, she absolutely has no means of escaping Mundus's clutches. Absolutely none. Nah, zero, no. And there she goes and saves Dante, who has activated the power of friendship, and with that power he kills Mundus. After that, he gives the most emotional speech in all of history of gaming.
Should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
What a fucking voice crack! Oh, I was not expecting that! Did I mention voice acting in this game? It is superb! But anyway, you try to escape the castle, but lo and behold, Mundus isn't dead. And Trish isn't dead either! So you kill him, again, leave the island in the most epic way possible, and bingo, bango, bongo, the end. That game was nothing but a masterpiece! This game was so good that it sold millions of copies, and the sequel was greenlit even before it released. So that means they must have had high hopes for the sequel, and they put a lot of effort and resources into making it, right? Right? Why aren't you answering me, Dante? Dante! Dante! Devil May Cry 2 is called 2 because there are 2 discs and 2 characters to play as, and 2 directors worked on this game, from which one of them doesn't even want to reveal his name.
Hello everyone.
And after playing the game I can say, yeah, no wonder.
Finally.
Check this shit.
You're my friend now.
Yeah, let's go all the way to hell.
DMC2 is a sequel to the beloved hack and slash game called Dante's Inferno, and no, actually it isn't. But it could as well be, because if it wasn't for the title, nobody would have known it was continuation to the Devil May Cry. This game is a disaster on every level imaginable, story-wise, gameplay-wise, character-wise, level design-wise. Alright, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Short story shorter, you play as Dante, who meets up with this red-haired girl called Lucia, and together they put an end to some guy's evil scheme. Okay, look, this Heihachi-looking mofo wants to resurrect the immortal demon Argosax and obtain his powers. So our heroes go on a journey to stop him, and oh boy, what a journey it is. This game supposedly takes place after the first one, but nothing that was in the first game is present in here, except for the guns maybe and the Stinger. Even Dante was supposed to be replaced, and it shows because in this game he's a husk, shell of a devil being. The spoken lines in this game are roughly around 32 seconds long, total, and he doesn't even have this over-the-top cheeky charisma from the previous game anymore. Sounds more like he's got a depression?
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes. Now we can stop Arius' ambition.
Whatever.
No, stupid, you don't say whatever to the question you ask. Lucia, on the other hand, is blunt as well. There's not much to say about her either. The only guy that stands out is the main villain, and not because he's a good written character, but because halfway through the game he randomly goes from this
Well, what have we here?
to this. What has even happened to Trish? Oh, you can play as her after finishing the game on hard mode. Nope, not for me. Gameplay in this game is gun. Do you remember when I said guns do no damage? Well, in DMC2 they are busted. In fact, so busted that some bosses were designed to be fought with guns only, which kind of sheds some light on quality of this game. When playing as Lucia, you find new bosses and there are some new story cutscenes, but the gameplay is the same. What's that? Her campaign also brings back water levels, and I don't know how they made their way into the first game, let alone to the second. The game is so disconnected from the franchise that in official DMC story recap, the only thing they say about this game is that, yep, something like that has happened, yep. But enough talking about DMC's 2 wrongs. We should start talking about DMC's 2 rights. Dante's design here is much bolder than in previous one. Just look at this boy. He looks like the Joker after a visit in a car wash without a car. And that was a compliment. Couple of lines spoken here were actually pure bars.
King? Yeah. Here's your crown.
The most promising features from this game have been adapted throughout the series, like instant weapon switching, trickster wall running, aerial combos, do some time baby, and bloody palaces, endless fighting arenas. Also, he's got miniguns in his hands while in Devil Trigger mode. Now, isn't that cool? DMC2 is literally just like Dark Souls 2. Both very ambitious projects, but because of development issues, directors needed to be switched and they had little time to save these sinking ships. By the way, yes, I'm not afraid to compare other games to Dark Souls. What are you gonna do about that, dweeb? So Hideaki Itsuno, the latter director of Devil May Cry 2, didn't want to be known as the guy who made DMC2, understandably so. He asked Capcom whether he can make a decent game worthy of Devil May Cry title, and they said okay, so he then proceeded and made the best game in the entire world. So there he is, the man, the devil, sitting in his office with Papa John's extra double pepperoni pizza on his titties, and what the
I've come for your Papa John's double pepperoni pizza from your titties.
You ain't getting my Papa John's double pepperoni pizza, you evil piece of looking ass. Let me just grab some of it and... No, what the fuck, my pizza! You son of a bitch. Now you've overstepped it. Alright, this party?
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
You never see it.
The actual fuck you do.
Sing, 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 sing. Sing, 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 sing.
The guy in all his heat. Certified. I'm Melvin.
Stomping Koopas.
Black, big balls, HD.
Become self-admitted.
Don't bet on it.
Yep, the best game of all time, hands down. DMC3 took me 15 hours to finish, and as you might have noticed, playthroughs of this game on YouTube take like around 6-ish. It took me this long not because I sucked at the game, but rather I savored it. Savored it like you savor a fine wine. And it has aged like one, because the game came out in 2005, and it feels like it came out tomorrow. Or at least it would be if it wasn't for that terrible, horrible, atrocious camera work that is somehow worse than in previous games combined. Also some poses are absolute garbage, but about that later. The rest is pure creme de la creme. The combat, the music, the gameplay, the over-the-top cutscenes, the Virgil, the characters, the wait, what? The Virgil? Like this funny guy who interrupts your hentai sessions? Yes, he is, baby. And he sends you an invitation in form of this humongous Babel tower and waits for you so he can...
Check your balls.
The combat in this game is so fucking good, the sheer amount of moves, combos, the number of weapons you get to your disposal is astonishing. Before every mission you can also choose between the style of your preferred gameplay. If you want to play the game like you thought you would play it. Gunslinger, if you like the DMC's 2 gameplay so much. Trickster, if you played too many Souls games, or just need to get through this room. And Royal Guard, if you are a pussy. The Jenga tower you are in is way bigger than castle from the first game. And guess what? Item backtracking puzzles are back! Yay! Like I spent 20 minutes just walking around the first area because of how convoluted it was. Once again, I'm not bad at this game, just a little confused. After an hour in, I met this goddamn clown who lured me into the worst boss in the entire game. A mother flying centipede that lives inside your walls. It's so bad, and there are actually even worse ones. This game has got so many bosses that are invincible until you perform a special attack or just find an opening. For example, this daughter of a son of a... She literally has got one opening where you can wear off her invincibility armor. Yes, you don't even deal her damage in this form, you just keep attacking her fat patongers until she breaks bad. And if you miss this window, you will be forced to dodge her attacks for 5 minutes straight, just to get another one. What the fuck is that, Miyazaki? I mean, there is always one nicely done boss for one that is half-baked, which is understandably not cool, but the one good thing that all of them have in common is that they have this tiny, teeny exploit with which you can deal them some massive damage, like horse carriage boss battle. Just hop onto it, loser. Or the chess boss, just defeat the king and you win. Oh, I just needed to destroy the king, I'm so fucking dumb, those are fucking chess! The rewards are usually cool, like new styles like Quicksilver or Doppelganger, or weapons like the autistic guitar or 2 swords that have sworn not to talk, but they talk anyway, so every time you do this cool 1000 slashes attack, Dante goes silent. That weapon alone has got more personality than any character in Devil May Cry 2. But let's get back to story. On your way up, you meet this cool AF mysterious lady, whose name appears to be Lady. Man, I swear to God. As thanks for saving her from the fall, she shoots you in the head twice. After some time we finally reunite with Virgil, known as the Dark Slayer, the son of Sparda, that better one. He beats our ass, impales Dante with his sword and awakens our devilish powers, thus the name of the game, Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening Special Edition from HD Collection. Okay, at this point, can I get a counter? How many times has he been penetrated with his own armament? Thanks. In the meantime, Virgil kills Arkham City because he lacked
power.
Or so Virgil thought, because it turns out that he's well and alive and the goddamn piss-stained asshole clown was his ally all along. His plan was to gather everybody in one room, then activate the tower, and look at him go! So Dante teams up with Virgil and kind of with Lady to defeat this demonic aberration of their father. And then they fight each other over their undisputed daddy issues. Dante emerges victorious, Virgil decides to stay in the underworld, and there it is. The end of DMC3. Like I said, some bosses could get more time in the oven and the whole camera work department should be fired, but apart from that, it's a masterpiece.
Maybe somewhere out there even Devil May Cry knows the lesson.
Alright, we need to move on to the next game. Devil May Cry 4 is the fourth installment in the Devil May Cry franchise. It follows up after the events of the second game. Okay, I'm not going to lie, those clips aren't from Devil May Cry 4, but some random Japanese games of the same aesthetic. I almost fooled you, didn't I? The game introduces new protagonist, whose name is Nero. I'm pretty sure developers did that to show that DMC can evolve beyond Dante and... Oh, nope, never mind, there he is in his full glory and... What the hell are those boots? So Nero beats the shit out of Dante for stealing his spotlight. He goes nuts. Absolutely bad donkers. Full God of War style. And after that biblical smackdown, Dante goes...
Getting better. Huh? I would even go as far as to say that I underestimated your abilities.
What the fuck?
As you might have already noticed, Nero has got unnaturally large arm, and it isn't because of long low nights with certain orange logoed website, but it's because he was cursed with being a deadweight. This arm serves practical purpose though. It can pull you to stuff, beat the shit out of the stuff, pull stuff to you so that you don't need to use Stinger every time to get to an enemy faster, and finally, it is used to beat the shit out of old people. And he's also got Vroom Vroom Stick, which goes... Nero sets out to track down Dante, and during his expedition he battles some epic bosses, gets into Beyblade fights, learns a little about female anatomy, obtains his father's sword, wait, whose sword? And finally finds out the truth behind the church he's working for. Then he battles Dante, and what a fight it is! Dante keeps reading players' inputs, and there's nothing more annoying in games than input reading enemies, or shitty camera, or grind. Oh, I fucking hate the grind. That's why I bought DMC4 Special Edition, which comes with parading corpse of Virgil and 200k orbs. Now imagine Dante's face after I used 3 holy waters on his sorry ass. Order's plan is to create some sort of savior by using Nero's Discord jet and Sparta's blood. So they capture Nero and Dante needs to step in. Dante's style system has gone through absolute glow up. Now he can seamlessly switch between styles on the go and defeat enemies by giving them tiny tinnitus and seizures. Speaking of glow ups, those are Lady and Trish now. Holy mother of God, those jiggle physics.
Stop creating digital women and complex dress up.
Dante sets out on an adventure and fights exactly the same bosses that we fought as Nero. Well, hopefully we won't see them again. Bye bye. Oh shit. Dante has got some cool weapons like this suitcase that brings out fear in all TSA agents. And this weapon that melts hearts of all Latina moms.
And I love Latinas.
And then he fights one of the worst bosses I've ever fought. And then Nero fights even a worse boss who's got constant shield up, and all of that just after refighting all of the bosses again in some sort of sick jigsaw game. But it doesn't matter because this game is cool anyway. So order is beaten. Yamato retrieved. 9/11 Dawn. And we pull ourselves a girlfriend by having an unnaturally large arm. Hopefully she won't check my search history and... Oh shit, dead! Devil May Cry is back, baby! And is back with the best music you've ever heard in video games. Nero is back as well, and he went through character development because his haircut is noticeably shorter. And this is Nero's sidekick blacksmith, Nico. She is a 10, but she smokes and has got some ass dialogue.
Up your butt?
But she provides us with the Devil Breaker, a prosthetic arm to replace our devil arm, which was stolen by this random hobo. I hate living in San Francisco, oh god. It has got the same use as our last arm, but with some new changes, like the interchangeable robotic arms with new abilities and functions. Yes, this is Buster Cannon from Mega Man. Yes, this is Monkey Mania inspired banana launcher. Yes, this one gives massive Phantom Pain vibes. And yes, this is a fork. And I kid you not, it's the best one out of them all. The story revolves around the demon named Ergil, who's fucking strong, like really strong, like not even Dante could defeat him. So after getting his ass beaten, calls Nero a deadweight, and now emotionally distressed Nero seeks refuge in emo Adam Driver's bosom. I mean his literature. Why do they call it oven when you off in the cold food, off out hot eat the food? Man, didn't somebody already make this joke? An orphan selfie is a family photo. Man, what the fuck are you talking about? His name is V, and he's another playable character. His fighting style consists of channeling his inner personas to fight for him. He's got a bird, a puma, and this one Pokemon from the epileptic episode. They kinda act like stands from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, attacking enemies from close range while he can read his literature in peace far away. Nero, after being called a deadweight, wants to prove he's neither dead nor a weight. But V, the contractor of this whole thing, insists on finding Dante, who has lost to said demon and now is AWOL, as he thinks only he can defeat Ergil. So he does find him, but he's in coma, and V acts very peculiarly, one could say. Suspicious even. He can't share his plans yet because haters will sabotage him.
I have plans that I cannot share with you right now because the haters will sabotage me.
Oh yeah, I also forgot that Lady and Trish are in this game. But at this point, they just keep them around as fan service slaves. Dante wakes up from 1 month-long coma, and the first thing he does, he stabs himself with his sword. Which time is it now? 5th? But thanks to that, he gains new powers, which allow him to finally deflect an oncoming motorcycle. He then uses it as a weapon, and may I be damned, because it's the best goddamn weapon I've seen in games, and trust me, it's up there with the pizza cutter from Bloodborne and shotgun cane from Saints Row. With power of the motorcycle on his side, he beats the demonic overlord twice. In the meantime, Nero carries V over to Ergil's dead body, and then this happens.
V, get back. Things are about to get really messy.
No, please, let me. I want to end this battle with my own hands. Do not struggle, for if you can't even defeat me, then you've already lost.
I will not lose. Not to Dante. I need power. More power.
I know. We are one and the same, you and I. But you've lost me, and I've lost you.
What a punk.
Whoa.
Whatever.
Pizza time. I'm over.
The Alpha and Omega, your reason for fighting. Your reason, get it? The reclaimer of his name. The funny silver-haired guy who interrupts your furry porn videos.
What the fuck?
I am the storm that is a problem.
So... Ooh, what is this? Power, foolishness, and joy from Virgil.
Just like Dante, he stabbed himself with his sword, separated his body from Soul, Ka from Ha, V from Virgil, and became this demon. Also, he actually isn't a virgin because Nero is his son.
He's your father!
I mean, hell yeah! My boy Virgil slayed some puss!
Unwise.
So now Virgil, Alpha and Omega fights Dante, Sigma de Ligma. Unfortunately, I didn't buy the Funny Garden Chair DLC, so I felt unmotivated to fight him and used 7 reviving orbs during his fight out of 20 that I had found during the course of the game. So they try to kill each other once again, but Nero stops them by transforming into a Neo boss and then annihilates them WWE style. And Virgil, after this colossal battle in Thunderdome, goes...
Interesting. I can still fight.
And then for the 4th time in the franchise they go to Underworld. And that's the end! Seriously, like no big final boss like it always has been in the franchise. Just roll the credits, man, I guess. Guess they were running low on budget because all of it has gone into V status and ladies' ass. There are lots of cool references to the older games like Cerberus boss fight from DMC3, Jackpot Line, and remixes of some of the music pieces from previous games. Music in this game usually plays during combat. That is, if your combo is high enough, and from now on, I want it to be a feature in all video games, so that we could make fun of all trash game journalists. So after 11 years of waiting, this is what we get. A masterpiece, to say so. But Mr. Morrison, we don't have enough money to pay for bills, XDDDZS. Wait, 11? But what about this game? Real DMC fans skip DMC, not to be confused with DMC nor DMCA, alright? But shut your fucking mouth. Alright, now that we are at it, let's talk about it a little. How did somebody let this happen?
El narrador.
So first of all, this is Dante. He looks like this now. They even make fun of his classic white hair. He's got also no charisma. Dante from DMC. Cheeky, funny, has got thoughtful jokes, fun stunts to trigger his enemies, and Dante in this game... Fuck you! This game tries so hard to be edgy, but everything is so laughable. Welcome to Twitter headquarters. Virgil, from one of the most menacing gaming villains, turns into the most generic villain I've ever seen. He constantly whines about everything and uses his sword like he's afraid he's gonna cut himself. Gameplay-wise, this game is fine. One could even say it slaps. There are even some cool bosses, like your typical Bloodborne enemy, Carl Tuckerson, and even Virgil. I really like throughout the entire game he doesn't do shit, but the moment he needs to cut down Dante, he turns into the best swordsman this world has ever seen. This is actually so like Virgil. And platforming sections aren't as obnoxious as in previous games. The plot is trash though, but it's not like it matters, because in main games the stories also weren't like top tier level, right? It's all about the characters and how they butchered them. But still, at the end of the day, I don't think the game is that bad. In fact, I liked it.
What did you just say?
Now, alright, listen, I know it sounds bad, but think about it this way. I could have always been Combat Speak fan, and I'm not, because the game was shite. And this is Dante, and this is McDonald's Smoothie, and this is JC on Momoa. And they all combined create Devil May Cry. Thank you for watching.
Why isn't this working? Is there something missing? Must more blood be shed?